One aspect of nonviolent movements that makes them particularly potent,
So this is Marea Stéphane, the U.S. Institute of Peace.
not to mention highly creative, is the wide variety of tactics available to participants. This broad spectrum of tactics enables lots of people with different skills, physical abilities, and risk tolerance levels to join nonviolent campaigns and movements.
So listen to what she says here, all right? So she's talking about the 198 methods of bringing down a government through mob activity. She's going to stress the Gene Sharp manual, which is literally the manual for the past 50 years. This is really worth reading. Super long treatise on how Gene Sharp came from the State Department military world. He was recruited to the Harvard CIA, the CIA at Harvard, the Center for International Affairs, and how they got $50 million from the Department of War, from the Pentagon, to do research on how to overthrow governments in a bottom-up way rather than a top-down way. Because there's really two ways to overthrow a government. One is by a military coup. The second is by which is like top-down. You poach a critical quotient of the military generals and the police, and because they control the guns, they simply control the government. The other way is a ground-up mob, millions of people in the streets situation, which is also known now as a color revolution, and what they call nonviolent action, because it's the alternative to a violent military coup. It's a violent mob coup, but it's technically less violent. You're simply destroying buildings and occupying the streets, and you're throwing rocks at police, but you're trying not to kill people. That's not the primary purpose of it. It's to terrorize people, but stopping short of killing them. That's what they call nonviolent, right? But it was funded by our violence department, the Department of War. This came from the Office of the Chief of Psychological Warfare. So this is what she's citing here, this 198 methods of trying to overthrow a government through a mob revolution. Again, this is all sponsored by the U.S. government. We are paying Marea Stéphane. We as the taxpayers are paying her to teach people how to overthrow governments by taking to the streets. But you'll notice that she emphasizes, once again, these tactics depend on your risk tolerance. I hope it's now clear why it is you see so many crazy people involved in these radical movements. Like why you see so many people who are on drugs or career criminals or psychologically deranged at the front lines of this. Because they're the ones doing the riskiest, the ones most willing to do the riskiest of these U.S. government-backed tactics. And I mention that again because Marea Stéphane has never been arrested for any of this. Marea Stéphane has never been sued for any of this. She wants other people to take the risk, other people to get arrested. This was at the time the director of the U.S. Institute of Peace's program on nonviolent action.